I will promise you one thing. I won't sell you anything today. Although we spent some money on this, we are not selling anything today. I want to follow up on the two previous lectures and two key messages from them. First thing from Volker's lecture yesterday, that mobile devices have a built-in billing functionality. So this is one of the things that I'll follow up. The second thing is from the lecture right before me, from Adele, that, okay, you will get the money. There are guys that give a lot of money here in the hall. And you will make the product, and after that, your next investor should be your customers. So you have to make money out of them. So how do you make money? One of the ways is to make money through the smartphones. Smartphone is something that you hear all too often. Smartphone, smartphone, smartphone. And my bosses also hear smartphones all that often. And first I'll show you what they see from their ivory towers in order to see what's going on now. Okay, so I think that nothing is working. Okay, it's on. Nope. I don't even have a PC here, so I cannot change it. Okay. It's me, yes, me, back for, okay, so now this is working as well. Okay, so first, of course, smartphones are increasing. This is something that will surprise nobody. A year ago in Bulgaria, the smartphones were 12% of the whole installed base of devices. Right now, they are 18%. But 18% of devices doesn't mean that 18% of people have smartphones. Why? How many of you have more than one phone with them right now? Okay, so more than half of the public. Basically, with this amount of phones per user, this means that our estimation is that probably more than 20% or 21% of the people in Bulgaria have at least one smartphone in their pocket. So this is becoming an opportunity. This is not anymore a niche market. It's becoming bigger. And this curve is the same in the UK, in Holland, in the US, only it starts from 40, 50, 60%. But we are going there, here as well, in Bulgaria. The other story. The evil Android ate the poor Symbian. This is what is happening. I'm showing data from our network, but it is representative for the whole Bulgarian market. So Android is growing. It is eating share from the other operating systems. Symbian is dying away. And iOS and Windows Phone are increasing, but at lower rates compared to Android. So basically, if we get Symbian out of the picture, around 85% of the modern smartphones are Androids. 85%. And believe me, not a lot of people in Bulgaria make money out of Android. You'll agree probably with me about this. This is how the devices look like. This slide has only one goal to show you. Okay, Android is fragmented, but not that much. It's Samsung, one LG, and much, much smaller shares for all the other zillion devices. So if you aim for the big brands, the HTCs, the Samsungs, and the, LG, for example, you might be fine to cover like 80, 90% of this 80, 90% of the smartphone users. Okay, so based on this, everything is growing. We have more customers with better devices, better operating systems. Everything seems fine. And when we, from a telecom perspective, look at these guys, we see the following thing. We see they buy, in every 22 months, a new mid-range smartphone. It's approximately 100 euro per year, so because it's around 190 euro for the whole device. Then they, fortunately for us and unfortunately for them, have to buy also a subscription for mobile services. This usually amounts to a monthly bill of around 25, 30 leva with the mobile data and all the other stuff that we put in there or later. And it makes up to 180 euros per year. And that's a handsome amount of 280 euros. It's some math here because we're talking about money, and math is important, not only products and marketing and code, of course. So, another equation, the bigger picture. 1.5 million people with smartphones in Bulgaria times 280 euro annual spend. Actually, this picture, what we laughed at it with Chris is that if it's reported by the official media, it might be like 100 people or 150 or something like this. But let's say that they are 1.5 million. Like sometimes the media also reports that this crowd is 1.5 million. And times this 280 euros, this makes this Bulgaria. Tiny, little Bulgaria. 420 million euros. That we, together with the two other carriers, and the Samsung, Apples, and LGs and HTCs, are making each year. And they were 30% less last year. So that looks fine, right? That makes a good business for us. So I'll probably get my Christmas bonus and some other stuff. But I don't think that keep calm and keep growing and leaving this to the big guys, to the innovation of the Googles and Apples is enough. I don't believe that you are also believing in this, right? Okay, so one more equation. This is again the same slide. I have put again, so not to be confused that I have messed up my presentation. Okay, so again, this 280 euros. What is missing there? I'll make it a little bit easier. So, we have a device and a service plan. So, we have a fridge and an electricity subscription. What happens when you open this fridge with the electricity subscription? Oops. Yeah, that's right. It's empty. Right now, we are selling empty fridges. And we are leaving somebody else to fill them in with applications. And there are a lot of applications. And a lot of these applications for your fridge can't be produced in California. And a lot of them can't be produced in Korea. Right? So why the phones are different? I don't believe that they are different. So, This is the last math today. 5% of the 400 million euros that I showed you on the last slide is 20 million. Just 5% spent on top of the things that the customers are already paying for in order to get this empty fridge with electricity to be filled with some good, useful, and local stuff. I do believe that this is possible. Right now, this is close to zero. But I do believe that this is possible. That we, together, can do it. But how? Okay, there is a terminology that nobody understands apart from our industry about the value-added services. The value-added services are the payments that we currently charge that are different to the standard charge of services. So these are when you pay for the parking, as you can see, when you pay for access to some websites, when you pay for some donation to UNICEF, or whatever. So this market, and also as you can see, fortune telling has also a share, not a significant share there. And in micropayments, I must admit that part of them are micropayments for sex phones, distance sex services, let's say it like that. So, and this business, which is nothing remarkable, no innovation, just pure business done through the phones, is worth 40 million leva in Bulgaria right now, every year. How come this cannot be done with smartphone services? I think that it can. So, where does the money come from? It can come basically from two directions. From your bank account, and what obviously I'm here to talk about, from the bill of the carrier. What we believe that we are better in are when we are talking about sums up to 10 leva in a transaction. First of all, we cover 100% of the people. Not the ones that have credit cards, not the ones that have money in that credit cards, not the ones that only want to register their credit cards, and not the ones who are not afraid to send the data of their credit cards over some wireless connection. 100% of the users. If you look at it that way, we are basically crediting, the mobile operators are crediting every single month and every single minute. Actually, every one of you is right now being credited with their subscription plan to use mobile services, because you're using right now things that you haven't paid for so far. You'll pay them next month, but right now you're doing it with credit. And this is good. The banks will tell you that this is good, because going on shopping with a credit card is one thing, probably the ladies will agree even more, and going on shopping with the hard-earned cash, the feeling is different. So it's easier to spend money that you don't have. At the moment, of course. We believe that our customers will pay later. Okay, so if we say that this is the way, why hasn't it worked so far for smartphone services? The reason for this is because right now all the business is done through SMS payments. Has anybody of you been born in 1994 or later? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have like quite a lot of people born after 1994. Okay, so I will show you some device that is as old as you. Okay, this is Nokia 2110. This is the first phone that used SMS. This is the phone that SMS payments were built for. This is it. Nokia 2110. As old as you guys, or even older. And this is the reason why it doesn't work, because it has been built for Nokia 2110. It has limited price options. Changes take time in our systems because it's a real pain to tinker with the SMS Center, which was built like a zillion years ago. The user has to write SMSs, write short codes. If the user is not the one who is paying, in the end of the month, the one that is paying the bill receives an invoice with 50 lines saying short number 1232, 3 leva. Short number 1522, 5 leva. And then what the person who is paying the bill, who is usually the parent, says to the kid, have you done something with your phone? And the kid says, of course, no. It's like the question, did you ruin the TV that is broken? Of course not. It just broke itself. It's the usual explanation. And there is no proof, and then the customer goes to Vivacom or to MTEL or to Global, very pissed off, and says, ban these things, you are crazy, you are thieves, burglars, killers, and so on. So not the best user experience when paying. And if they don't pay, you also don't get the money, not only us. So it's not good. And also, it's not real time, because the SMS is like the snail mail of the modern times. You send it, it travels. At this point, if you're selling something that is based on access, you're waiting, the customer is waiting, the clock is ticking, the SMS goes somewhere, it's being transcoded, checks are being done, then the SMS travels back. The clock is ticking and the user is shaking his iPhone or Android, says, what the fuck? And he closes the app. He doesn't know that you have sold him something. It's a pain. And the last thing is that SMSs are really not the way to pay, and the big guys that we talked about, the Googles and Apples, are beginning to block them, because they are not transparent and they are not the way to do it. And they have place in Nokia 2110, not in such kind of phones. No. So what's next? What we are offering and what we have really tried to do in the last 1 year, and it has taken us a lot of effort and time, is to offer dynamic billing, something that has been made for such devices and the services that run on them. What basically we are offering is real-time, flexible charging, any price, any model of billing, any information that is being sent over by your application goes in our bill. So the next time that the charge has been made through this and not through SMS, you will not see number 1312. You will see crowns for the little princess of the fairy kingdom game, or 2 pigs for my farm in BG Farm game, or whatever, or cinema tickets for the games of Hunger Games too. But how does it work? Okay, so you have the subscriber, the application server, that's you, and the billing. It's very easy. So the subscriber wants to buy something or to pay for something. He makes a request. It's just pure communication from the device to your application server. Then, when you have deployed the code, you know the MSISDN, the number of the customer, so you don't even have, when he's in our networks, you don't even have to have a username and password for him. You know that this is George who is using this mobile number. So you know who he is. You ask us, can we get the money? Does he has a credit limit? Has he blown it off all? Is he paying regularly? Usually he is. So at the same moment, it's a very fast check. We are returning this. Yes, he can. We have already charged him, so go ahead. Deliver the content. And the content is delivered. And there is one last thing. For the sake of the users and for discipline, the user receives an SMS that he has been charged. So it's not a good idea to charge him like 100 times in 1 minute. Please. I know that he will be angry at us, not at you, but please don't do it. And finally, these are just some of the best use cases so far. This is just the beginning. We don't know what will work and what will not work. But when you get the money or from the guys with the cash and make the products, come and we can discuss it. Now is the time. The first goers into such business models usually get more money and reap the benefits. So you can send freemium, you can just sell the applications, you can sell some little stuff in them, you can even try, and we can even work on how to sell real goods. Not big ones. We won't sell cars through our billing, at least not yet. But tickets, small objects, yes, it might be possible. And you can do it one-off, just one night stand with the customer in terms of money, or you can do it regularly with time passes or just subscription plans. Now I really urge you to think about subscription plans, because our business of all service providers has been done by service plans. And if you can build such applications and such services that get little money every month from the customer, you'll have a much more sustainable cash flow. Of course, that means that you really have to work hard to retain the customer. But we can help also with knowledge about that, because we are fighting every day, every night, to retain millions of customers that are using our services. So, this is the question. I don't want your answer now. Just think about it. Are you ready to make money together? Our door is open, and because every beginning is hard, we have one last thing, which is our contest. Check it out. There, this is the first step. There, only you are making money. We are not. We are giving away prizes for the best applications that we see, and we would really work hard to make these applications successful here. And you must be aware that the reason why Foco yesterday thought that the phone is becoming a billing device was that not only in Bulgaria such things are happening. We are not the first carrier to do that, we are not the last one. So this is becoming common across a lot of markets. Big telecom groups with millions, hundreds of millions of customers are already rolling out such models of carrier billing. So Bulgaria can be your testing ground. We don't have anything against being your testing ground. And after that, you can really expand and reap money on the big pitch. Thank you.
Thank you. Probably we'll have a couple of 2 minutes for questions, if there are any. But beforehand, before you get the mic, I want to say something. This is really exciting because it really opens the door for a lot of new things that current weekends, like I can't buy a ticket with my mobile phone for the public transportation. And if there is not a small booth with the old lady selling newspapers, I'll go into the bus, and if the driver is not willing to sell, I'll ride without a ticket. I do that sometimes. Sorry. So this is good, and I hope that like not just entrepreneurs, but like service providers will kind of open up for this and start providing that. What we thought, and we probably will organize in next year, beginning of next year, will be another startup weekend. Probably we'll do another mobile, but we want to hack with public services, like try to pull some data from the public transportation company and some other services. And who knows? I mean, this can be applied as well. So I mean, you can hack around with the payment system that Vivacom is providing and get a couple of hundreds of dollars of level a day. Questions?
I have already the mic.
Yeah,
so
okay, go ahead.
I'll cheat a little bit as I have two questions. The first one is it realistic that the market for mobile payments that big, considering the Android users, as most of the Android users' culture is open source to get free apps and not paying for applications, and wouldn't it be better to target smaller market as the iOS users, which are more premium users and willing to pay? And the second question is whether the mobile payments supported by the other carriers, and if not, wouldn't it cut the market even more if mobile payments are just supported for users of Vivacom?
Okay, thank you for the question. So, first of all, why is iPhone users premium users? Why? Does this phone
the devices
is
themselves are more
lower end?
expensive?
This phone is not as expensive as iPhone.
Yeah,
Why are
but
they?
most of the Android phones are a war level. I mean, the device for 100 euros is not your phone.
Well, that's why I showed the graph. Even in Bulgaria, the second most popular phone is Galaxy S3. It's better in specs than any iPhone.
Can
Sorry
we
for
make
that.
a small survey? How many of the Android users have bought an application?
Well, this is the problem. Yes, Android users are not buying because there is a problem in the system and it's broken. And believe me, most of the services that we provide through SMS can be acquired without paying for them. And it's not about you that know how to find an APK, how to download it, how to lose like 5 or 10 minutes to install it on your phone. Okay, it might be even less. To go to some hot file shares and so on, and to find the premium version. It's about simplicity. The people that are the premium people, they don't mind to pay a small amount, but if they don't need to register, if they don't need to put their bank cards, if they don't need to put a lot of things. So, given the fact that Android users are 4 or 5 times more than the iOS ones, and given the fact that it's really an open system, yes, it makes selling stuff harder, but selling hard is not impossible. And this is what my my message is. Especially when your service is based on server authentication, how can a person acquire access to it without paying? He cannot do it. And the thing is that if you do it as easy, as fast, as user-friendly, or even better than the free, people are willing to pay for premium stuff. That's why they are giving more money for better phones, although they are running the same applications and the same services. So this upsell from free to paid, it's not easy, but what we are trying to do is to make it as easy as possible. So at this point, people are willing to pay for better services, for better made apps. This is why iOS has been usually dubbed the premium service and platform, because it's closed and because it's easier to generate money, because the services that are built for iOS are the services that the providers cannot afford to build for Android. what the carrier billing gives is, okay, not the same thing because the garden is not closed, but at least it gives tools to sell such things. And there are, when you're talking about sale of accounts or to, as I said, or to real goods, you cannot go around, even if it's open source. You cannot get them for free from somewhere else. This is why I do believe that we're opening new frontiers. And this is a very, very common and very difficult perception to overcome, but it can be overcome.
Okay, thank you very much for the questions. Thank you for spending time with us.